Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have an unbelievably cool gun that you've already seen on this channel in a, not necessarily a prototyping phase, but in a like halfway through the build phase. This is a highly customized Krebs custom mini BERYL from BERYL, imported by Arms of America right here in Texas. We actually have a video on a gun very similar to this. This is not the same gun, but if you want to see one of these things like halfway through the build process where we still shoot the crap out of it, I'm going to link that video down below. The mini BERYL is an actual NATO AK. It shoots .223. It's got a very short barrel. They come into the country as pistols, so they are like real deal American imports, untouched by 922R and American hands. And I'll be honest, I slept on these things for a long time. I never really paid attention to them. It wasn't until I started, talking with Krebs and, shooting some of his guns that he offered to send one of these before it was finished to see what I thought, maybe film it and get my take on it. He did, and around that same time, I had another buddy of mine, AK Quality Enforcement, send me an SBR version that actually was like fully military spec, had all the military aftermarket, so I shot them both back to back, and man, I felt so bad for sleeping on this gun. It's a phenomenal little gun. It's so cool, it's so unique, and Polish AKs are very unique, as a lot of you know, maybe some of you don't know. They kind of did their own thing, and after shooting the Krebs take on the Americanized BERYL BERYL pistol, I had to have one, so I pulled the trigger. I told Krebs, sign me up for one. I don't care. I gotta have one. That's just one of the coolest little shorty AKs I've ever shot, ever, and it's in a caliber that I love. I love 5.56 AKs. I got all the mags. I got everything. I have to have one of these guns. So we worked out a deal, and it's here. Not only that, he actually let me kind of tweak a couple of things to make it more to my liking, and we're going to go over that today. But once I actually got this thing in my hand, I really realized, and I was reminded at why Krebs Custom, in my opinion, is probably one of the greatest living AK gunsmiths today. It has been for a long time. The attention to detail is absolutely phenomenal on this thing, and I've actually shot the crap out of it already. Like, I couldn't wait. So you're going to see dings and scratches. I didn't want to wait to film the video. Like, the second I got it, took it to the range, and we've shot hundreds of rounds through it already, and I'm already, signed up for competitions to shoot this, and, this was actually another thing that I really wanted to gift Rachel. This is definitely going to be her 5.56 AK that hopefully I get to shoot as much as I want. But anyway, the more and more I play with it, the more I see just little things where I'm just like, wow. His work is not cheap, and I think some people have a hard time understanding why AKs can be so expensive. These boutique, heavily customized AKs, I don't think people really understand the amount of time and work that goes into them. So hopefully with some of the things I show you on this, I'll make a believer out of you. It's just so beautifully done. The green paint job on it, everything about it is so stunning. And the way it shoots, it's unbelievable. By the way, if you like this video, go check out Third Pin Threads. We have all kinds of really cool merch. We got the hats, we got the shirts. I'm wearing my Kalash Bash shirt because I have a huge announcement. Kalash Bash 2024 is happening April 13th and 14th, and as of the time of the filming of this video, right now, the link's down below. Pre-registration is open to sign up for tickets. What does that mean? Well, you click that link, you sign up, there's no money transacted. You're basically getting on a mailing list, a first dibs list, when the tickets do go live on November 1st. The tickets always sell out. The match sells out very quick. We have over 300 tickets for that, but it's always selling out extremely fast. Typically, the people that pre-register and get on that mailing list because you have first dibs will get a ticket. The people that don't, sometimes they miss out, and that's unfortunate, but we do the best we can. This year, Kalash Bash will be in 2024. It's moving back to springtime. It is no longer an October event. We have over 50 to 60 vendors coming out. The prize table will be close to $100,000 in prizes. Food, camping, live music, just about everything you would expect at a full-on concert at an AK competition and festival. The year is 2069. AI has taken over. That's the theme this year. So let's get some AKs that are not susceptible to AI tampering. They still work. We dug them up in the year 2069, and we're going to take the world back. That's the theme this year. We hope to see you all out there very soon. The link for pre-reg is down below.
Let's see if my time was faster.
26:57 with a malfunction.
All right, not best.
That deserves a victory Magda.
Yeah, go for it.
Thing's gnarly, man. Lost your mag. Get them G codes. Time 4130. Show me clear. Well done. I see clear.
So what exactly has he done to this gun particularly? I want to go over every little tiny bit and give you some hopefully clear up-close shots so you can really see the detail. Some of this stuff is next freaking level, man. So as you know, these things come in the country as pistols. They are real deal imports, untouched by 922R. So they have no way to attach a stock from factory. In fact, they're actually slab-sided in the rear, and they have like a little sling loop that's kind of useless. Even when braces were okay, there was really no way to mount to it. So he asked what I wanted in the rear. I said, man, I got to have a 1913 on there. And then, any gun that can have a folding stock, I think it's good if they do, especially something like this. It's already pretty small. It would be cool to fold a stock up on it. So not only did he mount a 1913 in the rear, but the way he has done it, if you look here, there is absolutely no seam. I can't even feel a seam. And remember, this was a slick-sided piece. This is welded in place, grinded down smooth, and refinished. And it looks like it came that way. Absolutely seamless work here. I mean, just look at that. Perfectly straight, beautifully done. And I can't get over how seamless it is here. Incredible. So we put a J-Mac stock on there, and it's funny, I knew that this gun was going to be green, so I wanted to get the green J-Mac stock, and it does not perfectly match up, but I think it looks pretty cool. We put a little goon tape on there to break up the green, and this is one of their new stocks that has the rubber on it, and man, on this gun, it looks pretty freaking sick. Lines up very well with our optic that we'll talk about in just a second, but because of that 1913 rail so perfectly blended, we can have basically any stock we want, brace, whatever, if you even care about all of that. If it mounts to a 1913 rail, that is huge. I think every AK, if you want them to be modern, you have to have 1913 in the rear. That is just the way to go if you're going to have a no BS modern AK and you don't want to run wood stocks or anything like that. Commit to a 1913. The options are endless, and all of the options fold. These things would have come from Poland with a muzzle device that kind of looks like a big booster that's permanently fixed in place. The detent here is actually not spring-loaded from factory. It's fixed in place. Can't move it. The pin and the gas block has to come out. This has to come out, and then you can remove it. So he asked, what kind of muzzle device do you want? And I really wanted to be able to suppress this thing, and the only one that makes an aftermarket device for these that can mount a suppressor that I know of is J-Mac. I've tried this muzzle device out before on someone else's BERYL, and it worked out great. Not only do you get a little bit of a break to help tame recoil, which this gun has very little, but of course you can put a Sandman on there with the chemo. The reason it's so long, these guns have a barrel extension that kind of goes out to about here. The threads are way back here, but the barrel extends. So you have to have something that sleeves it. So not only did he install it, but he color matched it to the gun, and it just looks so cool. And an extra attention to detail. He didn't even have to put this in, because we're not using it. He put a spring-loaded detent in that didn't even come with it from factory. Even though we're not using it, it's in. That was pretty cool. Something he absolutely didn't have to do, but it's in there. Another really cool thing that Krebs is doing is he's making aftermarket handguards for these things. I'd never really got to feel these back when I was testing out the BERYL that he sent us the first time, he asked if I wanted a set. I said, abso-freaking-lutely. And here we go, man. This is not some aftermarket rail that he laser engraves with his logo. He makes these. They're beautifully done. They fit the aesthetic of the gun. They're not super crazy and flashy looking. It's just smooth. You get a little bit of texturing here. You get M-lock on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. Just got a little slate black hand stop up there. And then you get some pick up top. It's ventilated. You could put dots, lasers, lights, anything you want. It's extremely rigid. Has a huge cross pin here that actually holds it in place. And something that he's done on some of his older handguards that I noticed from back in the day, the way that they interface with the receiver, if you look here, there's like a little relief cut in the aluminum, so when it like clicks into place, you can actually feel the edge of your receiver there, and it does it on both sides. I just always thought that was really cool. He calls this Magpul Green. It's not OD green. Like here in this light, it's probably kind of hard to tell. Outside, it's like a very dull green that blends with black beautifully. It's from a distance, it might even look black. It might even look like a really dark brown. In certain lights, it kind of looks like Ninja Turtle green, which is kind of cool. I've never really seen this shade green on an AK. I saw him post pictures of some prototype AKs he was doing with this interesting green paint, and I said, could you do that on the gun? He says, yeah, it's just Magpul Green, but the way he puts it on, it looks like a different shade, and it's kind of a vibe, man. A little bit of black here and there, and that really dull dark green looks really sick. I'm actually using an Atero Arms mount. I believe they are the only company that makes an aftermarket red dot mount for mini BERYLs, and there's a very good reason for that. You'll notice here it actually dovetails into your sight block and has 2 set screws. If you didn't know that pick rail these things comes off, it does very easily. So I've put this in here, and I got a little red dot on here. But I will show you. This would have been the factory 1913 rail that would have mounted on this gun, and if you look here, it sits up very high from factory. It's very blocky, and a lot of people, I think it's a reason why a lot of people don't buy these guns. They see these on here, and they don't really know that they can be removed, and it looks super goofy. It is a very goofy, blocky, like, afterthought, and it just makes the gun kind of visually unappealing, and I think a lot of people totally didn't pay attention to these mini BERYLs because of this goofy optic mount. He actually tries to pretty this thing up for you a little bit. If you look here, he actually bevels the front end. From factory, it's just 90-degree turns. It's just like a block up front, but it actually looks a little bit sharper on the gun. It looks a bit more handsome when it's installed. But and he's even painted it to match. Coating is very nice. These lightning cuts are factory, but extremely cool. Another really cool thing that he does is he makes your safety ambidextrous. As you can see here, I can actuate it with my thumb on the other side. And he uses a very interesting part for that. You'll notice here that you actually have a selector here for your thumb if you're a right-handed shooter. That's actually a SIG 550 safety selector. So not only do you have a very capable, now lightened safety here, but you don't even have to move your index finger to shoot this thing. Put it on safe, put it on fire. Pretty freaking cool. This is optional. This is something that you don't have to do. So if you want to try to save money and get one of these, I kind of wanted the Cadillac model. I wanted everything. He said these safeties are hard to get. I figured, well, better get one now while they're gettable. Pretty cool high-speed stuff, and you couldn't even tell. If you told someone that was factory, they would believe you. One of the big ones here, probably the most controversial thing, is the left side charge. I know that this is not for everyone. There's a number of reasons why people don't like them, but for me, I thought this gun, especially for Rachel shooting this at matches, I thought, if we're going to commit to some of this other customization, I figured let's fully commit to a left side charge. Anyone that has shot a Galil Ace knows it is just faster, especially for a right-handed shooter to be able to do your reloading. There's no reach under, there's no reach over, there's no coming off your grip with your right hand grabbing the charging handle. That's all done. It 100% is faster. So as you can see there, the charging handle is knurled all the way around. It's just a perfect circle. And if you take the bolt out of this thing, this looks factory. Like, I can't even really tell how it's mounted to the carrier. It's so well done. It's just some next level stuff, man. It looks so clean. And of course, when you do a left side charge on an AK, you have to clearance the dust cover to give this thing a channel to ride, because otherwise this would all be sealed. This is one reason why people don't like left side charge, because you constantly have a hole here for stuff to get in the gun, which you're not wrong, but to me, this thing, the role that it's going to fill, it's not going to be in situations where it's going to be dragging through dirt and all that. This is, to me, a competition upgrade. So this is whatever. This is fine. This is a necessary thing to go extremely fast with your left side charge. And the cut that he has done in the dust cover is so perfect and clean. It looks factory. We've actually deleted the charging handle, the factory charging handle on the right side. Here's a big attention to detail. So I was talking to Krebs on the phone, and he said, you know, if you want to cut this off, I actually do a small mod where I can leave a little bit on there and reshape it. It'll look factory, and it will still interface with your safety. So if you look here, this cut is just beautiful, and it may be hard to see. Do you see the little groove right there? It's almost like a little hook. So that's done purposely so that it will still do as it was intended and catch your safety. You can have a round in the chamber. It will pull the round out, stop. It will not eject the round. You can do a press check because you still have something to catch your safety. And just in general, if your safety's on and you would rather not charge this thing if there's nothing in the chamber, it at least stops you from doing that. Some people will actually grind these safeties down smooth, and you could actually fully cycle the gun while on safe and load a round. So I wanted to keep that safety precaution there from factory, and the way he's done it, it's perfectly done, man. Looks factory, looks beautifully done. The biggest thing that he's done here that I get the most questions about is this big paddle and this. Basically what this is, I like to call it a speed loader. It is a spring-loaded mag ejection system that will actually kick the mag out without having to actually pull the mag out or lean it forward. You don't have to do any of that. With the push of a lever, the mag actually will just kind of fly out of the gun. For reloading, this is essential. This is something that you're seeing guys do on 3-gun AKs, where they don't have to do anything. I mean, that left hand can be on a new mag, and this, boop, mag's out. And then you get into this paddle here. Basically, all this is, it's like half of a flared mag well. It's only on the right-hand side of the gun. As a right-handed shooter, my left hand is always going to be loaded mags. So the idea here is, it's kind of like a funnel for your magazine. The mag could actually come in. This gives you a place to find where you're at, ride it in, and lock the mag in place. It's a beveled mag well without it being a beveled mag well. And the best part about this whole system is, again, it looks factory. That's thin sheet metal, like the receiver. How's it installed? With rivets. Tell me that is not a seamless installation, even on your mag latch. Even this mag latch here is not factory polished. That's an aftermarket Krebs piece. But it's all rivets and sheet metal. This looks like it all could have been factory. And I think it is aesthetically, this isn't something, I know some people absolutely hate modernizing AKs, but this here, it flows with the body lines. It's the same type of material. It's not like a big aluminum piece here with a beveled mag well. It's not that at all. It's sheet metal and rivets, which is extremely time consuming to install and to get right. Krebs has told me these are extremely labor intensive to install because it takes finagling. It really takes installing it, trying mags, moving it around a little bit to find that sweet spot. It's not an easy install, which is why I know a lot of people are going to ask, can you buy these separately? He is selling them separately, but this is not something I would be able to install. This is not something most people would be able to install if you weren't a gunsmith and really knew what you were doing. So, they're actually having Dissident Arms install a lot of these onto people's guns for them. So if you see the Dissident Arms, like highly pimped out custom AKs, and you see these flanges, that's all Krebs parts. They're just installing them because they've gotten really good at it, and they're great for competition. So that's the Krebs Custom Mini BERYL, man. These things are not cheap, but the work's not cheap. I mean, anyone that really knows Krebs Custom would pay a lot of money to have that logo engraved on an AK that he built. That gun will always hold value. It will always be special. Krebs is one of those once-in-a-lifetime gunsmiths that comes around, and he decided to focus on AKs. I know that there's a lot of good AK gunsmiths out there. There really, really are. But I'm so fortunate. I think we all should feel fortunate that we have someone like Krebs that's still out there, still putting some really cool AKs together and taking off-the-shelf AKs and pimping them out. It's extremely special. I have thoroughly enjoyed shooting this thing. Rachel has enjoyed shooting this thing. We have been absolutely blasting with it. And, I mean, you can already see we're digging up the paint. The muzzle device is starting to get black at the front, but we have thoroughly enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed this gun. This is going to show up in several more videos. We're going to shoot it at some competitions. Go check out Krebs Custom on Instagram and Facebook. Go check out his website and see if there's something there that you like. Reach out. It's probably him that will answer the phone and answer your emails. He's a super cool guy. We also have Krebs on a full 2-hour live stream. I'll link that down below. He's an extremely interesting guy, and he's very talented, and I'm extremely proud to own this gun. A lot more to come on this thing. We'll see you soon.
Right in the center.
Thought it was going to be a little high. Okay, do it again. Looks like you're fairly centered on your shot. That's good, man. Do a few more. See if I can get those on camera.